Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Crappy Design, starting with number 19, the orbit of Erath Moon. The orbit of Earth Moon. Sun, Erath. You got to watch out for that space graffiti because, like, if you're launching a spacecraft, you might run into the space graffiti, and it'll hit at a very high rate of speed and probably disintegrate things. Who knew that Erath actually had a ring like Saturn? That's pretty crazy. Also, boy, oh boy, the sun is certainly having some solar flares going on there. I've learned so much from looking at this imagery. It's great. A very spiky sun, and Saturn, also known as Erath. That's what they used to refer to Saturn as back in the old days. This gardening nutrient mix that looks like ketchup. It even says great flavor. If I don't speak whatever language this is, I might squeeze this onto my food. I mean, I feel like this is geared towards people who speak the native language of this country, perhaps, such that they don't squeeze this onto their hamburger. Oh, is this Polish? Inga has told us that this is Polish. Hey, Inga, is there any world in which you would mistake this for ketchup or tomato sauce? Or is this something you would very clearly know is not that? Is it obvious enough in the marketing, in the branding? That's what I want to know. Okay, we have a Polish speaker who says I would in fact mistake it. Well, there you have it. Probably not great overall then. Image I found on Shutterstock, a little confusing. Push yourself. Stop ever learning. Give up. Break your limits. But stop ever learning and give up. But push yourself. But don't push yourself too hard that you actually succeed, because it's better if you give up. I love it when people just, without there being any use to it, they separate a letter out from a word. And it's a word that if you take that letter off means like the opposite or something completely different. And then they just subtly incorporate the detached letter somewhere else that is really hard to see, doesn't really make any reading sense, and pushes the wrong message. Hideaway bathroom behind the stairwell. I'm not sure that that's up to code. What is this? This must be like a vertical micro apartment or something? I can't think of any other explanation for this, but also like, I'm pretty sure this just has no door to it. You can't possibly live here with multiple people. Otherwise, well, I guess the way that you know that somebody's on the toilet is if you're downstairs and you try to walk up the stairs and you hit your head on the ceiling, you go, so-and-so, they must be on the toilet. Or at least they were, and then they went upstairs and forgot to open it back up. Wouldn't it be interesting to be sitting on the toilet and you get like a knock at your feet and you're like, it's already occupied? Or actually, no, to be fair, like, they can still come through. It's gonna be kind of awkward to like come up the stairs and be like, oh, hey, fancy seeing you here. And then you have a drawbridge that you have to put back down. And then like if you go up the stairs, you get a real nice like just vertical view of the pooage. No, it doesn't look like there's a sink. It doesn't look like there's a shower. It doesn't look like there's many other amenities outside of just the toilet and a fall to your doom if the wrong scenario happened. Imagine going pee here in the middle of the night. That might be difficult. Maybe it's just my imagination, but these lights obfuscate the number instead of making them more legible. Oh, I was like trying to figure out, I see, he's like covering it with his glove sock in the first, and in the second he lets it. Yeah, I mean, if there's like ceiling lights and there's an apartment building hallway, so the ceiling lights are kind of always on, then this probably is unnecessary to do, to just like blindingly illuminate the door number. But see, I think the better way to do this would be you backlight it, right? And so you have an illuminated, so the 701 itself would be illuminated through like plastic. That would be better, but they didn't do that here. This birthday plate where the balloon strings just look like hair. Just little squiggle, little hair-colored squiggles here and there. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Have just floating balloons that don't have a string? I mean, you don't have to have strings attached to your helium balloons, but otherwise, they're just going to go floating away with nobody to hang on to. Granted, nobody's hanging on to them here, so they kind of are just floating away. What, you just think they should have had raw balloons with no string around them? Just no string? I don't know, man. I feel like you need some string. Otherwise, it doesn't look very birthday party-esque. I struggle to figure out the alternative here. Crazy to call them raw balloons. You guys prefer your balloons cooked or raw? It's a personal preference thing. I've never really polled people on before, but it's interesting to know. Some nice red velvet cake, though. I don't know why up here it kind of looks moldy. I'm sure that's just some Neapolitan ice cream, but it just really gives off this moldy impression, given the current context of things. Accident waiting to happen. I'm wondering why they took this approach. During the daytime, maybe not, but at night, yeah, you probably just like would expect the stairs to continue, and then you would take a very, very big step off of the edge, and RIP. This is not anti-skating. I don't know how this would be anti-skating at all. It's not like, if anything, it actually made it more pro skating because you have these brakes. And it turns out the big concrete blocks here actually give you a little bit more landing if you were going to try to do something on these stairs, which would be crazy because there's like no distance to land. But no one would clear this entire set no matter what. You would have to, land on part of it. Also, they don't have any blockers on the rail here. It would be crazy to actually maintain something all the way down the triple kink, but not really anti-skating. It's nice of the people to graffiti all the stairs, though. Who's Joe? I don't know. I don't know who Joe is, but it's nice of him to do this because he's kind of made it clear, hey, look, the stairs do this weird thing. You can see that when you're going up so you don't shin yourself on it or something like that. Drano suggests to use 1/3 of a bottle, but markings on the side are in quarter increments. That is actually crazy. Hey guys, you want to know something funny? It's pretty... Oh, wow, I matched the Drano so well with my headset. My Logitech G McLaren A50X headset. Code Kevin Sparkles, link in the description. It really matches. It's a really funny story. At the previous house, I thought that there was a clogged drain in the kitchen. Like, I would run the faucet, and this wasn't the main sink. This was like a side little bar sink. And I run the faucet, and the water wouldn't drain very well. And so we put some Drano down, and then after running the Drano, it was still clogged. The water wasn't draining very well. You're like, what the frick is going on? I don't like using this stuff. I'm always afraid it's going to melt the pipes and stuff anyway. It's so bad. And but that said, come to realize that, the rubber little thing. It's like has quadrants to it, the rubber little thing at the bottom of the sink. What do you call that? The sink rubber stopper, but it's not like a stopper. Water goes through it. It is the stopper. Okay. It was just kind of too tightly put together. So the water just like the clog was just the stopper was little. It didn't have enough gap in it. So I guess the stopper was really acting more of a stopper than it usually is in other sinks. Anyway, I felt really stupid after that one. Yep. But there was no clog, as it turns out. The ice cubes it makes fall through the bottom of the shelves, so often when I open and close the door, this happens. That's terrible. Also, gonna go on a little water rant here. I know, unheard of for me. I hate ice makers because how do ice makers work? Well, they have an automatic water valve that just detects, well, how much ice is in the tray. Do I need to make more? And that automatic water valve, it can fail. It can mess up. And then you can have a really, really big problem on your hand. So I actually try to disable any ice maker if I had it. Also, yes, they can get absolutely super duper freaking gross and disgusting. But both when we got here, this fridge, the freezer, was complete, like the ice was frick, dude. And it was from the ice maker. It had just like gone down all the side of all the drawers that were underneath the ice maker. We had to like get someone over to replace the gasket around both the fridge and the freezer and melt all of the ice that was just frozen solid. You couldn't move any of the drawers. And we also had ice buildup at the old house. Dude, ice makers, don't do it. It is genuinely not worth the trouble. Just fill the little tray, little ice cube tray with water from the sink, put it in the freezer. That's all you need. It's just not worth having another part that can fail with water. And when it fails, it goes really bad for you. It's just not worth it. There is absolutely no justification for the small convenience. A micro SD sized hole right below the micro SD slot. Wait, what's the crappy design? Oh, wait. Is it that that's not a micro SD slot? I feel like I'm missing something. Micro SD sized hole right below the micro SD slot. What am I missing? Is that not the... Oh, is it this, like, there's two gaps in here and only one of them is the actual... But it looks like it will block you. It doesn't look like it just goes through and you can piggy bank your micro SD card. It just looks like you're going to hit the dead end on it and be like, why doesn't my micro SD card go in? And you might like give it a few tries before you're like, what the frick is that? Oh, I see. I'm putting in the wrong semi slot. So as long as it's not like you can put your micro SD card in your irretrievable piggy bank and never be able to get it back, I don't know. It's kind of whatever. As long as it can go in and it can be retrieved. All I'm seeing here is a bit of pareidolia. You know, we got like the nose, we got a mouth, we got the eyes on the side, and then kind of looking like a Star Wars character, right? He's wearing like a helmet, kind of a stormtrooper helmet looking thing. Yeah. Anyway, you think it does get stuck, but it looks like there's metal blocking it. It looks like it wouldn't go in all the way. I don't know. I'd have to get my hands on this thing directly. Saw this in Lidl the other day. I don't know what Lidl is. Why aren't they laying on the blow-up mattress itself? I love buying the blow-up mattress so that I can lay to either side of it. It's Lidl is a store in Europe. They sell cheap bread. Okay, a lot of people are very familiar. Okie dokie. I just was unfamiliar because I don't think they're in the US. You see what happened here is they were like, do we take our own photos? Do we do our own photo shoot with our air mattress? Or do we use a stock image? And I said, you know what? Let's just put it in the stock image. Surely this won't dissuade anybody from buying the product. If it's the only one we carry and somebody needs an air mattress, they're just going to get the air mattress. I left the Union under the Tadpole. Huh? Yes. Wow, Union. Zebra. Y'all. Y'all? Even if this is a boating-related term, why that for your why example? Holy frick, just stick to the basics. I believe, okay, y'all is a type of boat. Yeah, I bet y'all didn't know that. But it's, okay, that's fine. But why is that the example of why? Instead of like, yes, or yippee or yeetus. Maybe that's funny. That is funny. It's onion spelled phonetically. I didn't even think about that. Being an English only speaker, I just see it as union, but it's like, no, to be fair, if you were not a native English speaker and you heard the vegetable onion, you would think it is spelled union. Totally fair. Tadpole, I'm confused on. How did they get tadpole for desk? Where they just like, they tried learning English by watching TV shows, by watching cartoons, and somehow there just ended up being a little wire cross. That would probably be the case if I tried to, table tadpole. Maybe table tadpole. Whatever. Yeah, maybe this is like if I tried to if I learned the Japanese alphabet and then I was like, let me try to write out a word that I know from anime. This is the end result. Tadpole instead of table. So that's probably what happened, I guess. I just couldn't see anything other than desk because it looks like a school desk. That's where my mind went immediately. But anywho, my family took me to the Titanic exhibit for my birthday. Titanic, the Artifact Exhibition, a timeless experience. I'm assuming that this is your photo. You are at the Titanic exhibit. I think the only thing wrong here is that you're too tall and your face gets printed over. What they really should do is just move that to the other side. I don't know why they have it where people's heads could end up. The beauty is I'm really short, so this wouldn't actually be a problem for me. I would be like up to here, and the bigger problem would be that the railing would actually be going right through the center of my face, and you wouldn't see very much of me at all. So, it's a sweet spot if you're in the middle. This bed was designed to wreck my shins at night. I just feel like there aren't very many good reasons for why they did that. They could have just made the pieces an inch shorter. I don't think there's any structural benefit in having these extend out. It doesn't really add to the design. You just could have them end with the rest of the posts for the bed. Better yet, a bed where the legs are actually underneath the mattress so that you don't have any legs that extend beyond the frame. And God forbid your foot kind of goes under. It's just going under the bed. It doesn't really hit anything. You just don't really have any targets for your feet to hit. So it doesn't seem like I just don't like for things to extend out of the bed if they can be avoided. Better if they're like set back by a few inches on all the sides. I was wondering why I kept ending up on the 4th floor after pressing 2. Lift information for levels 0 to 1. What? Press 0. 2 to 3, press 1. But what level am I actually on when I get there? Am I on? I'm assuming that if I press 0 and I'm already on 0, I'm gonna go to 1. If I press 1 though, where do I end up? Am I at 2 or am I 3? If I press 2, am I at 4 or am I at 5? Nobody knows. I can only assume that it is half floor, like you end up at a landing and then you go like half up or half down, which I've never seen before. But also, like, where would you? It's like you don't know. Maybe the idea is like when you get there, it'll make sense. If you're trying to get to unit 506, just press 2 and it'll all make sense when you get there. Stop questioning it. Stop dwelling on this. Just press the damn button in the elevator and stop holding it up for other people. When you skip the typography section of your Groupon graphic design course, magic fart, tattoo, and permanent makeup. Oh, magic of art. I gotta know what their Yelp and Google reviews look like. Do you think that every single one of them is like, they're all probably really positive, and they're just like, I love going to Magic Fart. Whatever they use to scent the building, it just smells incredible. They keep their perfume use a secret. Nobody's ever been able to know, but sometimes I just go into here to sit and smell the roses. I don't even go for a tattoo or permanent makeup. It's like the reviews for sugar-free gummy bears on Amazon. They're all like, tasted delicious. I pooed my brains out for the next 3 days, but at least I was able to keep eating them while sitting on the toilet. They were a great poop snack. You've never looked at the reviews for sugar-free gummy bears on Amazon? Oh, well, you should. Terrible design for a hand gel I got as a freebie from a rep. Hand sanitizer, powered by BioGuard. Oraleve, dry mouth relief. That, if the goal is just to advertise your product, but it's hand sanitizer, you really need to pick and choose what kind of advertisements for what kind of products can go on another type of product. Because it's like, if you're gonna sell cleaning supplies, you probably shouldn't have them brought to you by Hawaiian Punch. That might be a bad idea, because people might get their wires crossed with, okay, so I'm gonna drink some Hawaiian Punch right now. Why is my throat disintegrating? Why can't I breathe now? My assumption is that this is like, it's a convention for dry mouth products. And as little trinkets, they were like, here, have some hand sanitizer, because you have to have hand sanitizer if you're at a convention. So, but they want to advertise their product because they have it at the booth. As you're talking to them about, do I stock this dry mouth relief in my doctor's practice or something like that? And they're like, here, take a hand sanitizer. It'll remind you of our product. That will also make it look like this is our product, so that you can spray hand sanitizer into your mouth. Designed to fail. Incorrect way up. Placing the product this way will result in damage. I feel like usually you want to write things in the positive and not the negative. Like, I don't know. Maybe they were like, oh, these boxes. Everybody just writes this way up with arrows. And it's just so unoriginal. Why has nobody ever thought of doing it the opposite way, where this is the wrong side up? You know? Then people are like, oh no. And yeah, they might realize a little bit too late, but it'll be different. It'll be provocative. And people will buy these boxes because it's unique. Surely this side up with arrows has been really badly done for like the last 100 years. And we've come up with a solution. And the top for the last month of crappy design. A new, not so roundabout in Sydney. Dude, I'm going to remember this if I run into it in GeoGuessr. We'll know that we're in Australia. At first, I'm like, why are they all driving incorrectly? And then I realized, no, wait, they are actually doing this the right way. The guys who are going around and then like doing the sharp turn are actually doing. Surely a stop sign would have been more effective here, right? What? Why? Like, there is no stop sign. Clearly, there is no stop sign here. And there's no traffic light. And it is actually supposed to operate as a roundabout without being round and being way too tight of a corner to actually be able to turn your car around. Like, that's incredible. For all the layers of bureaucracy and approval that are supposed to go on and do go on at the city level for things like this, and the amount of analysis that goes into, do we even add a stop sign here? Or do we add a traffic light? Impressive. Very impressive. Or whatever company was contracted to do this, they were supposed to actually build some physical, planter in the middle. And they were just like, we could save money if we paint this. Then we don't have to build anything. And yeah, it might be a weird shape, but then we don't have to build anything. And we can pocket a lot more money this way. Yeah, not so roundabout, though. That's for sure. That's impressive. This has been a good month of crappy design. A lot of quality posts in here. Or not great quality, but quality of being bad. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.